Oh, and welcome to Late Night Chatter at mountainupnation.com. Thanks for joining us. We're going to do a reboot of the Late Night Chatter, special edition. It's not too special. It has two special people, AJ and, of course, me. So we thought we'd get on here, and the topic for tonight is reflections from hashtag VetCon 2017. So that's where we are right now. So welcome, AJ. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on board.
And how was your flight home to beautiful wherever you went back to?
The flight was great. So if anybody jumps on my Instagram, you're going to see a photo of me hogging an entire row that I got all to myself. I jumped on board, and as soon as I got on the plane, I asked the crew, I said, "Is this flight full up?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "All right, what row's empty?" And they told me the one in the very back. So I marched right past my assigned seat, went all the way to the back, and I laid down across the row. After we took off, I slept the whole way.
Awesome. So give us some insight into your adventure.
So
during
what you want,
VetCon.
you want like a chronological run through?
Sure, give us a run through.
All right. So timeline of events. So I left home. Well, let's back the truck up a little bit. Mr. Ryan here sends me a message and says, "Hey, would you like to go to this event?" And it was like 3 days prior, like out of nowhere. "Would you like to go to this event called VetCon?" And he told me all about it and everything. I'm like, "Man, I'd love to go." So we arranged that travel. And I got on a plane. I showed up and spent a day in Vegas. If any of you guys have been paying attention to the videos over the last week that have been put on Mountain Up, you'd have seen that we went live in Vegas. And outstanding host, showed me around, took me down the Strip. Vegas, baby. Never been down Vegas before. Never been. I told myself I'd never go, and there I was. And so we had a good time, and then hit the road and drove all the way across the desert the next day. So there I was, yeah. Drove all the way across the desert the next day, all the way to beautiful Redwood City in SF, San Francisco, in California. And we checked in, and VetCon was an amazing experience. For me, it was a little bit of starstruck, You get the fanboying thing kind of happen when you show up and you see all these amazing people that are highly successful and worth lots of money show up, and they're on the speaking list. I tried my best to play it cool. I don't really know. I don't. I don't really know how well I played it cool. I don't think I did at all. But I had the little press badge for the Warfighter Journal, and I was there for three reasons. And reason number one was because I'm going to produce an article that's going to be put out in the journal. And it's going to be two articles, actually. I'm trying to get somebody else to write the other one. But I'm going to produce an analysis article about veterans in their post-service days and how they connect to each other, and how VetCon was a living example of that. The second reason I was there was to develop those meaningful, and I say meaningful because it's not token, but develop those meaningful connections between myself and other veterans who are interested in kind of getting to know each other and further those connections as professional connections. And then the third reason I was there was, and I did a video about this while I was there at VetCon, so I know you guys pay attention to that. It was on the Veteran AJ page, and I shared it out, was to learn. I'm a professional, and I own a couple businesses, but I don't know everything, right? So I'm new to the game, and there's a lot that I have to learn. And so this was a unique opportunity for me to learn more. Anything I could that I can grab onto, I was going to take hold. And so VetCon as a conference was a series of speaking engagements from all these highly successful people that would tell a story about like how they got started, how they turned $10,000 into $10 million, and the trials and tribulations they went through in their success story. And then a bunch of other speaking engagements were like how to leverage this, how to do this, what your business should be focused on, how to develop these plans, these kinds of things that as an entrepreneur or as a vetrepreneur, a lot of people kind of just get thrown to the fire pit and have to figure out themselves. And so this was the ability to stand on the shoulders of geniuses, really, and learn some hardcore lessons. So those were the three things that happened for the 3 days while I was there at VetCon. Then after that, the next day after it ended, we drove down to Santa Cruz, where I kind of want to retire now.
Me too.
Yeah, and we drove down to Santa Cruz, which was an absolutely amazing place. Great people, great food, absolutely picturesque. And went to the Veterans Take Charge radio show. If you guys don't know who Veteran Take Charge radio show is, you need to educate yourself. You need to get on this thing. These guys were just amazing characters. They were pumped. They were energetic. They were upbeat. They meshed well together. This show was all the right things to keep you motivated and engaged while listening to it. And we went there totally unscripted and felt like not only did we fit in, we belonged. We didn't have to have a script. The talking points just came to the front of your mind. And it was hands down the best interview I have ever done so far in my career, as a business owner and a veteranpreneur post-service days. And then right after that, we hit the road and drove throughout the whole night to get to Vegas in the morning for 8 a.m. for me to catch my flight back home. So it was nonstop. It was constant work. I was awake every day at like 5 a.m. all day until well into the night. You sleep a couple hours, wake up, and then do it again. That was my experience for the past week. And so when I got home, the first thing I did was I crashed, and I didn't want to do nothing. I went right to bed, and I slept most of today away. I'm not going to lie. I was a lazy bum.
I know. I spent the last 2 days recovering for sure. It was definitely great to have you out, and I hope we can do this next year. Head out to VetCon 2018. I think it was a pretty big deal, and yeah, it was pretty good. I definitely learned a lot. I grew for sure, and then the networking was just amazing. So I couldn't beat it. Yeah. It's interesting because I met you on social media, and I've met so many different people, so many different characters on social media, and then to actually meet you in a physical environment live is completely different. And I'm just glad that we were able to mesh together really well. And we met some great people from Heroes Media Group, Kaylin, Adam, just awesome people. There's so many awesome people out there. I mean, it's just amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I totally agree with that assessment that a lot of times we build up this image in our mind of who somebody is when we meet them in a digital space. And then when you meet them in person, you're kind of like confirming it, right? You're going through this process of whether or not you're confirming or denying what you think this pre-existing image that you had built up. So it's interesting to hear that because it was kind of similar for me as well. Like getting to know you before I actually met you, I tried to avoid that thing, but everybody does it. So I did it too. I had this preconceived notion about, kind of who I thought, and then meeting you in person, I was actually happy that it was a lot better, that you were a much better person than I had preconceived. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but like everything you are online is everything you are in person, but better. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just saying that.
I appreciate that.
Maybe I'm just
saying
that all
I'm not fake.
No, you're not a fake person. Absolutely not. No, you are exactly who you are. And so, yeah. So before I actually met you in person, I would see like the customer service, the things you did with Mountain Up with your customers, the engagement, the kind of person, like the late night chatter stuff. I'd see your presence on social media, and everybody kind of has this thing like, is this authentic? Is this the kind of person that they really are? And then I'm going to confirm it, ladies and gentlemen, anybody watching this right now, who Brian Hunt is online, like you're seeing him right now, that's exactly who he is in person. You don't have, I'm telling you from firsthand experience, he doesn't have this like persona that he creates just for social media. No, this is it. This is the real him.
Person. And also,
say what?
Jazz says I'm taller in person.
Oh yeah, all right. So no, okay. Jazz was really cool person to meet. I keep talking about like all these amazing people, and just
We
blown
can't
away.
see you
Jazz
anymore.
was,
You're too dark.
I know,
AJ.
the light in my car went out. So,
This is low budget, man. But
it's low budget.
Go ahead.
So everybody, he's like, hey, you want to do this thing? I'm like, I'm driving right now. So Jazz, you were totally cool to meet. Awesome personality. I love the humor and the jokes that you put out, and I love the real in your face kind of thing. Oh man, it was just, and that was all Ryan. Ryan like introduced me to everybody. He was like, so this is, this person, this is this person. And I'm just sitting there in the background like, okay, thanks. I'm Joe Nobody.
Yeah, well, I'm not exactly Mr. Popularity, but it was great to get up there and actually meet so many great people and just so many people making an impact. I'm inspired, really. So it was a good trip, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, meeting Jazz was great, especially seeing the kind of stuff that was being floating around, the different projects and everything, which we're all supportive of. And then of course Adam, I've known Adam for years, and I've never met Adam in person, but I've known him for 5+ years, and it was great that we got to meet and hang out. Kaylin, who is an amazing. I tell people, so I don't really say this over social media, but Kaylin is the best kept secret you've never heard of.
She is.
And that's perfect, because you've never heard of her, and you're not supposed to unless you're in a business. And she does that kind of thing for you, because that's what social media managers and PR people, that's what they're about, right? The people that they're representing is the face, and they're going to put that. Like if Kaylin had a jacket, she'd be a NASCAR driver, because she would proudly wear every logo, every hat.
I think so too.
Huh?
I think so too.
Yeah, she would wear every logo of every person
from Late
she
Night Chatter.
represents.
I'm doing pretty good. Hold on, we actually have a caller.
Right on.
And who is this? Eddie. What's going on, brother? Well, try it out. I don't know.
I can't hear anything he's saying.
So it's not working too famous because of the echo effect, but we thought we'd give it a try. Exactly. So this is Eddie. If you haven't checked out Change Your POV, go check them out. They're awesome. They just finished up a really cool live as well. We all love this live Facebook stuff, and check them out. So Eddie, what else is going on? I couldn't agree more, Eddie. So I'm not sure if you all hear that there was our experiment going on. The phone calls to work through the echo. But, Eddie has a good message here. So what else, Eddie? What else is going on? I wish we could have like 4 boxes here.
Hold him up to the mic.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. And until later, we will chat again. But let's definitely talk offline too in the near future. All right, brother. Take care. Bye bye. It's always nice. Well, we tried it. We tried the phone call, and there's a little bit of an echo. So maybe we'll have to improve that.
So this is exactly where where I was thinking originally when you were talking about doing live and stuff. This is where Skype comes into play, right? Because you can have multiple people on Skype and then use that software OBS to put out. But if you had a Skype phone number, then somebody could call the number, and then that way it feeds directly into the program.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea too. We could have actually done that here.
Yeah.
So I do have a Skype number, and we'll have to integrate that next time. I think that's good feedback. We're working on this thing. We're trying to make it happen.
Yeah, it just means that you're going to have to run the program on Skype. I'm sorry?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. All right. There's like a loop going on right now.
Awkward pause. So, on that note, make sure you guys visit www.mountainupnation.com. That's where I always fall back to. If you haven't, really go check it out. We would love to have some great feedback. So, we are changing the way we do business at Mountain Up, and we're actually realigning our company, so to speak. We've had these values and this inspiration, but Mountain Up really is a company that's inspired by military, law enforcement officers, and also adventurers. So at the cornerstone, the foundation of Mountain Up, we believe in patriotism, we believe in adventure, and we believe in giving back to the community. So check it out. It's not just buy hats, but also check out the whole page and give us some feedback. But we're really thinking about doing this late night chat on a more regular basis. Our time slot will be right around 6 to 7 o'clock. And we'll try to bring on engaging people like AJ. AJ's my co-host. And actually, this is a great time to talk about some other things, AJ, with the people that love Mount Up and are actually here listening to this broadcast. So AJ, just so everyone knows, is now actually an employee, a member, we should say a team member of Mountain Up. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that, AJ?
I don't know what you want to say. What do you say? Okay, so yeah, we discussed it over the course of the trip, and Ryan was gracious to offer me a position, and he kind of approached me and asked me, he says, we really like where this thing is going. Would you be interested in coming on board and being a part of Mountain Up as an actual employee? And I said, well, what do you have in mind for me? Like, what would you like? And he said, well, you certainly know how to talk and communicate and connect with people, and you do it really well with veteran AJ, and you're good at analyzing that kind of stuff. You do it on the Warfighter Journal. I would really like if you came on board as the director of strategic communications. And I was taken aback. Like it was one of those things that you're just like, it was surreal. It was kind of like, wow, that's amazing. Of course I said yes, but I hesitated for a second because I didn't know what to say. So I kind of sat there and he looked at me and I'm like, well, yeah, I want to do it. Like, I'm not thinking otherwise. The words couldn't come out.
Well, we're definitely happy to have you as part of our team. So we need the support, we need the help, the brain power. You obviously have a lot of all of that. So, welcome to the team. And for those that are watching this, we do plan on starting to bring back late night chatter. I know there was a few people, some of our loyal listeners, they got mad at me when I decided to cut this loose for a little while, but we're going to do it. We're going to bring it back, and we're going to bring it back hardcore. So this episode was kind of the season 2, so to speak. So it's really the reboot, and we're bringing it back. We've had enough requests for it, so I guess I'm going to have some Facebook Live time with old DJ.
Yeah, we're also going to work on improving the software and techniques, using everything so that you can hear everything and see everything, and it's going to be real nice.
Yeah, for sure. So, are there any questions out there in Mountain Up Nation for us? We saw the phone doesn't work all that great, so don't call our number. But you can also just type below, and we'll take a look at it. If there's some awesome question there, we'll actually answer it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to read off questions if they come in the comments, because now I can't see them.
West Coast time. Oh, that's a great question. So yes, when I said 6 to 7, that is Las Vegas time. So just a great time. It fits into our schedules a little bit better. So that's it. But what we'll do is I will start scheduling these out, and you will actually get the notification. It'll be on our Mountain Up Facebook feed. So you'll know in advance when this is coming.
That is a great question. What time zone?
And let's see, we have a lot of love, late night chatter for East Coast. Someone wants a late night chatter for East Coast. What time would we have to? We'd have to do that around like 9 o'clock our time.
No, it'd be 9 o'clock East Coast. You can't do that if you did 9 o'clock, in Vegas. Vegas is what, Pacific, yeah?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're gonna up that by 3 hours for East Coast time.
Yeah,
so
I think you're stuck, Barbara. I would think doing it 6 to 7 Las Vegas time. And,
you do it 6 to 7 Pacific time, add +3, and that's East Coast. So, I mean, that would be a little better.
Well, it's really late night chatter.
It really is. It really is. Poor Barbara. Much love, Barbara. Much love.
All right. Well, I think we'll close this one out, and we'll definitely close this late night chatter out. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and we will definitely be doing this again very soon. And so it was a long trip. I'm still trying to get back into this thing and reboot. So come visit us again, www.mountupnation.com. Also, check out, we talked about the Warfighter Journal briefly. I would love if you check that out. You can find that at www.warfighterjournal.com. And
Little heads up, on the next late night chatter, we're going to discuss in more detail about how Warfighter Journal is going to be helping one of the biggest projects for Mountain Up, and it's worth it for all the listeners to tune in and actually listen to that type of stuff.
Definitely. If you don't know what we're talking about, we'll give you a little hint. We're talking about a special expedition to Denali 2008, and we definitely need your support to make that happen. And we'll talk more about it later, for sure. All right. Well, until next time, Mountain Up.
Mountain Up.